What's up, guys? Today I'm going to give you my top 5 poker don'ts. You must avoid these terrible plays. Don't do these. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so these are the top 5 amateur poker plays that I see that cost a lot of people money at the poker tables. Make sure you're not doing any of these. Number 1 is bluffing with nothing. Guys, as I've talked about in these videos many times before and in my books and on my poker blog, there is simply no point to be bluffing at a pot when you do not have anything. You always want to give yourself some sort of equity, some sort of chance to get lucky, and have that in your back pocket because, guys, you're going to get called sometimes. Sometimes when you're bluffing on the flop, turn, river, and you're making those big bluffs, they're going to call you sometimes, guys. So you always want to have that miracle flush card that you can hit on the turn or the river, some sort of gut shot, straight draw, something. Don't go bluffing with some hand like 3-4 or something on a bunch of high cards, ace 10 jack, where you have literally no chance of winning the pot. Always give yourself a life raft in poker, guys. Do not bluff with nothing. All right, let's move on to terrible tip number 2, which is overplaying top pair. Guys, this is something that I see poker amateurs doing all the time, and it honestly costs them a small fortune at the poker tables. This is taking a hand like ace deuce, for example, and you hit top pair with it, but the board has a lot of high cards and it's heavily coordinated. Guys, this is a spot where you need to understand that often pot controlling and playing a small or medium-sized pot is going to be likely to yield a lot better results for you than playing a massive pot. Guys, here's a quick rule of thumb to go by. If you're playing no limit hold'em with 100 big blind stacks, somewhere around there, which is normal for cash games or early stages in a tournament, you do not want to be getting all of your money in the middle playing for all of your stack if you just have top pair, especially with a bad kicker. Because usually in a spot like that, in no limit hold'em, somebody has 2 pair or better, 3 of a kind, a flush, a straight, something that beats top pair. So guys, be careful when you have top pair, especially when you got a bad kicker like a 2 or 3 or 4, something like that. Just play a small pot, check, call, let them bluff at it. These hands make excellent bluff catchers. Let's move on to terrible poker play number 3, which is making bad calls. Now guys, this is easier said than done. I've definitely made a lot of bad calls myself. Certainly not trying to present myself as some sort of poker god or something here. We all make bad poker calls sometimes. But guys, really what this is about is just thinking on a little bit of a deeper level before you make a call, say on the river, for example, or on the turn, where you've got something like bottom pair, you don't really have any kind of actual draw to improve your hand, and there is a good chance that somebody already has a much better hand, like a better 2 pair, a straight, 3 of a kind, a better top pair, middle pair. You guys get the idea. Guys, as I've said many times before in my books, in these videos, make sure you're subscribed, by the way, and on my poker blog, is that calling is typically losing poker. Yes, there is a time and a place to be calling in poker, but it should be a small segment of your actions at the poker table. It is much better to be the one in the driver's seat in poker, the person doing the betting, doing the raising, or even doing the folding. Guys, there's nothing wrong with folding if you don't think you can win the hand. Bottom line is, don't sit in there making bad calls, especially against tight players who are likely to have exactly what they're representing, because a lot of people lose a lot of money making bad calls like this. If you got a bad hand, just get out of there. All right, let's move on to terrible play number 4, which is playing in bad games. All right, guys, I've mentioned this many times before. Poker is a game played between people, and your results are always going to be in direct correlation to who you choose to play against at the poker table. If you choose to play at tables full of tough regulars, full of professionals and semi-pros, guys, you need to understand you're not gonna get good results in those kind of games. And guys, it's just simple math, because these players do not make large fundamental mistakes. Who makes large fundamental mistakes? The recreational players, the fish as we lovingly refer to them as. Guys, always make sure at any poker table that you sit down to play at, you should be able to identify the weaker player right away, the person who is limping a lot, making a lot of min bets, chasing terrible draws, making lots of bad calls, as we just talked about. There should always be one of these clear recreational poker players at the table, or you get out of there, because I'm assuming you're watching a video like this because your goal at the poker table is to earn money, to profit. I don't think anybody watches my videos here on YouTube just to flip coins with other good players. Guys, don't get an ego in this game and think that you're better than everyone else. Do it the easy way and just play against bad players, and I think you're gonna have a lot more success. All right, and terrible poker play number 5, my most important one of all, is don't berate the fish, guys. Don't be that guy or the girl at the poker table, guys, who when the bad player gets lucky against you, you start, typing some terrible stuff in the chat, or even worse, if you're playing in the casino or, live in a home game or something, you start, telling them how badly they play. Guys, please do not do this, and there is several reasons why. Number one, you just look like a douche at the poker table. Let's be honest. Nobody likes the table captain. Nobody likes to be berated. You're not likely to make any friends with this strategy of lecturing other people. But let's talk about 2 more important reasons why you should never berate the fish at the poker tables. And that is because it is a very, very negative EV outcome for you. EV standing for expected value, because let's look at the likely results when you berate someone at the poker table. Number one, they're just going to get pissed off at you, or, decide to leave the game because, like I said, they don't want to deal with somebody who's being abusive towards them. So you lose already because now the weak player has left the poker game. But number 2, which is even worse, is now after this player goes home and says, well, I don't want to play with this person anymore, but maybe this person is right. Maybe I do play bad. Let me go and, study some videos like this on YouTube, maybe read some poker books, hire a coach. Guys, this is even worse, because now they're actually going to take your advice and go get better at poker. And do we make money in poker by playing against people who study and get better? Of course not. As I talk about, guys, we want them to keep making these mistakes over and over. So guys, please understand that berating the fish not only makes you look bad at the poker table, but it does not yield any kind of positive result for you. In fact, it yields a negative result. You're only going to make the weaker players leave the table or go and improve their game, which is even worse. So guys, please do not be that person at the table who is making life difficult and uncomfortable for the weaker players. Let them have fun. They're just there to play. This is their entertainment. This is their hobby. Yes, they're going to get lucky against you sometimes, and it is frustrating in the moment, guys, but you need to understand this. You're better than this. Challenge yourself to just say, nice hand, sir, good job, and let them keep playing and making their mistakes. So guys, like and subscribe if you enjoy videos like this. Make sure you grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet as well. That'll be the top link in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next week.